Peace. My name is Jamal Robinson. I'm an astrologer, metaphysician, writer, and much, much more. So I'm out here in my little semi-man cave today in the garage, and I want to talk about something real quick. Let's call this the astrological chip on the shoulder. What's the astrological chip on the shoulder? In everyone's natal or birth chart, you're going to find some type of harsh or challenging aspects. You may find a certain conjunction or phase of the moon, or a square or quincunx or opposition, something that creates a challenge. Now, typically, we're going to look at where we find those favorable aspects as where a person can flourish. But there's a flip side to that. Sometimes the favorable aspects, like a trine, especially a trine, can be a place where we can become lazy and not really work to develop that aspect of ourselves. The sextile is another benefic aspect, but it does require work, and sometimes we fall short in doing the necessary work to cultivate and reap the possibilities of that that aspect. But I want you to entertain this, that the more challenging aspects may just be your greatest superpowers. For me, give you an example of how a certain placement hasn't been as favorable as I would like. And this is not really a bad placement, but it created difficulty for me as an athlete. Mercury in Capricorn. Mercury is the god of communication, the messenger god, the god of games, rapid movement. Well, Capricorn is anything but rapid. It's actually slow. It's methodical. So guess what? I was not born the swiftest of children. So from childhood, I always heard about I didn't run fast, and I couldn't do backflips like some of my classmates. We had a little rock wall on the edge of our playground at my elementary school, and I remember some of those kids would go and run up there and flip off, and just the thought of that, I said, if I tried that, I'd break my neck, and I probably would have. With Mercury in Capricorn, you're not going to be the fastest moving individual. But I had something happen when I was just around my freshman year, I think. We had a guy that had graduated maybe 8 years before me, and he was completing his eligibility in college. And he was getting ready to enter the NFL draft, and he would go on to have a very fruitful NFL career. But he was an offensive lineman like I was. And he told me this particular spring he had come back to the school, and he told me, if you want to be quick, all you got to do is start thinking that you're quick. Little did I know at the time, that was a deep metaphysical message, demonstrating, conveying the power of thinking. If you think yourself to be this way, then that is the first step to becoming it. And actually, he just went ahead and said, if you start thinking you're quick, you'll be quick. That would stick with me subconsciously, because as I went through my career in high school, I had a very award-winning high school career. All-state, first team All-state, junior and senior year, All-American senior year, Shrine Bowl participant. Go on to college, had a great college career. And what became a tagline for people describing me was, oh, he's got great feet. He's got quick feet. And how ironic it was that years prior, my feet were the area of concern. When I got a little older, when I first moved down here to Texas, I became reinvigorated to get my body in shape and look more muscular. And so I got into competitive bodybuilding. Now that's typically not the sport for a former offensive lineman. That's typically reserved for people who were your linebackers, your running backs, maybe some basketball players, sprinters, because they typically have narrow hips, small waist. Well, most offensive linemen don't have the narrowest of hips, which means they don't have the greatest shoulder to waist ratio. So I have a quasi lineman body, but I also have a mesomorph frame in there too, where I can, depending on the work I do, I can look very muscular or I can look chubby. It's all about discipline for me. So, and which brings me back to the point of the chip on the shoulder. For me to become a bodybuilder, I had to activate that astrological chip on the shoulder. That thing of, because I have Jupiter in Taurus, I like to eat. So I had to activate that aspect of myself where it says it's me against the world. Nobody thought that your feet were quick enough, that you could move fast enough when you play sports. Nobody would ever think that you, a former offensive lineman, could become a competitive bodybuilder and actually place. Those I used as a rallying cry. Where I would go into the gym and I would create this idea that everybody was trying to prevent me from looking my best on the day of the show. Oh, you offer me food at a barbecue. Oh, you just want to stop me from. No, I'm not going to take it just out of defiance. I'll show you how strong my mind is. Playing these little games. Now, of course, this can skew to the other side where it can become outrageous, but finding that happy median where you take something in your birth chart that appears to not be as favorable as you would like, or it can just be flat out terrible, and using your will to transform it into something greater. That is alchemy. And that is one of the positive ways to create that astrological chip on your shoulder. Hey, if you want to take a look at your chart and see how to work with your albatross or less favorable placements, give me a holler. 720astrology.com. Multitude of readings available. Till we talk again, take care. Peace.